8 teams of 5 cars each are going to test out their crashability and see if they've got what it takes to go to the Junkyard Joust. It's the minor leagues. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. We've got some new teams, we've got some returning teams that have had some bad luck. Some of them almost made it to the finals. Sugar Crash got 4th in a main event, as well as Diora Bora. Sugar Crash have been in the Joust 3 times, once getting 4th place in a main event, but otherwise it's been a little rough. Valley of Green Gold, based off the podcast of the same name, they haven't had good luck, they're here to try again. Brand new team, the Conquerors, are very big and heavy. Drop Tops are also a new team of convertibles. All 4 teams will joust all 5 of their cars 4 times in a row. It's like doing round 1 of the joust 4 times. The teams will get points for every car that survives each round. Any cars that survive all 4 rounds without getting eliminated will net a bonus point for their team. The goal for each team is to rack up as many points as they can, and then at the end of the minor leagues, the top 10 teams in points will get to go compete in the regular Junkyard Joust. Once you see it in action, it's all going to make perfect sense. But it's important to note that all the rounds will be run at increased speed. Standard joust rules apply sideways or upside down at the end of the round, and you do not get a point. Now you know how it works. Here we go. Round 1, starting off with the Drop Tops. They send down the 50s Mercury Lead Sled first, and then it's followed up by Count Chocula smashing into place, and both cars rebound back down the track a bit. The Baja Bison rears its head and finally locks into place right at the end. Little bouncing smash. Something broke off of the Suburban, I think. Oh well, doesn't look important. No eliminations yet. A little wobbling around, and the lead sled is off the track just about. The Cadillac Eldorado slams into place and tips, almost locks it back in. The Suburban's off the track, and the lead sled goes over. Eliminated. That'll be our first elimination, followed up by the Cadillac Eldorado getting shunted off the track to elimination by whatchamacallit, who then takes a hit from Cove Light. That 6-wheeler Mercedes mixes things up, but self-eliminates, throws itself over. Whatchamacallit is tipping. Here comes the 50 Mercury 8 for Drop Tops. Locks it in. Whatchamacallit finished off. Lucky Charms flips up, almost goes over, but manages to right itself. The Baja Bison is balancing. 2000 GT slams into Lucky Charms, but it stays on the track. A huge hit from the Toyota Tacoma, a double takedown. Lucky Charms and the Toyota both being taken out by the Tacoma. The Baja Bison escapes, but that was a big takedown. The 66 Cougar can't quite get the Tacoma off of the track. The Lucky Charms truck settles down, and then Cocoa Puff slams into position and takes out the Toyota Tacoma. Another elimination. A lot of eliminations in this round so far. The VW SP2 manages to take out Cocoa Puffs, or at least it's close to being taken down, but then gets righted by a big hit from the Chevrolet Silverado. And the SP2 gets taken out. Now the Cougar gets taken down by its own teammate. Cocoa Puffs is on the border, I'd say, between 45. Booberry slams into position. Pontiac Le Mans cannot take out Booberry. The Jeep Gladiator storms into position and takes out the Plymouth GTX. Booberry and the Le Mans manage to survive and hold on till the end of the round, which is now. 9 eliminations in this round. That is quite a few, and we have to take a couple measurements. Cocoa Puff's truck is in, just barely makes it at 44, and the Cougar makes it at 43. That'll give Sugar Crash 3 points to start off with, not too bad. The Conquerors also get 3. Valley of Green Gold also 3 points. And the Drop Tops fared the worst with only 2. Round 1 aftermath, there's 3 teams with 3 and 1 with 2. These teams are going to need a bit more points, though, going forward to keep up with the teams already in the lead. Let's see what happens in round 2. All the cars will come down again. Cookie riding on the Baja Bison, but falls out and is now prone on the track, along with some detritus, probably from the previous round. Cookie leaps into the sky on a big hit from the Mercury 8, which also slams the Baja Bison off. And then the Mercury 8 gets thrown up in the sky by a huge hit from the Suburban. Wow, that went up to a height of 7, and then it makes the landing, which is a great recovery too. That thing looks very promising. Count Chocula bangs into the Suburban and tosses it around a little bit, but the Suburban manages to hang on. The Toyota 2000 GT does not have any more luck. Suburban's still hanging on. Cadillac Eldorado slams into position and stays locked in. Count Chocula's coming up. The 6x6 smashes into the field. Petey goes flying. The Toyota 2000 is eliminated on the hit. Surprisingly, the only thing eliminated. Petey taking a rest up by the crates. And whatchamacallit locks it in behind. Covelight gets underneath whatchamacallit, tries a takedown, but whatchamacallit recovers and is not doing it. The Plymouth GTX slams into place. Covelight goes up and over and into safety, along with whatchamacallit. The Toyota Tacoma gets a nice big hit, but just manages to push everybody curbside. Then Lucky Charms blows into position, turns over sideways, gets 2 takedowns, but also takes itself down in the process. Doesn't look like it's quite going to be able to make a recovery on that hit. Lead Sled locks it in, and the Silverado locks it out, taking out its own teammate, that 6-wheeled AMG. For a moment, it looks bad for the VW SP2, but it does manage to survive that hit from the Cocoa Puffs truck, and look at that, 2 cars toppling over, and that will be 2 eliminations potentially. Does look like the Silverado's trying to make a recovery there. Not much movement though, maybe not enough to get it back upright. Gladiator tries to help, annihilates that Cougar, just takes it down off the track. Pontiac manages to survive off the track. Booberry, final car of the round. 7 eliminations in this round, a little bit better of a round for these teams, although we're going to take 1 measurement. The Silverado is beyond 45 degrees. Conquerors are gonna lose a point. That'll take us up to 8 eliminations. 4 points for Sugar Crash, a great round for them. The Valley of Green Gold also got 4 points, a great round for them too. Drop Tops not looking promising right now, only 2 points. And the Conquerors also with 2. Drop Tops and Conquerors are in trouble. Valley of Green Gold and Sugar Crash have improved their lot. 7 each. They've got to do even better than that to keep competitive here. We're gonna head right into round 3 and see if they can pull it off. Count Chocula takes position down at the end of the track. The running order is up. All these teams will start in a different position each round. And look at that recovery by Count Chocula. Sugar Crash is looking pretty promising right now. The Joust fans still trying to protect themselves with those mopeds. Mercury 8 first down for the Drop Tops. They are struggling in this match. Baja Bison with a wild hit, bounding all over the place and escaping the track to a recovery. That's great news for the Valley. Lucky Charms a little bit front heavy and manages to stay alive for the moment. Suburban's going up. The Tacoma bashes all the cars around, and it looks like the Suburban is going to survive for the moment, but Lucky Charms is finished. Oh, and there goes the Suburban on that hit from the Cadillac. Covelight does not do that Cadillac any favors, throwing it off. It is eliminated again and has yet to survive a round. Not a great addition for the Drop Tops. Whatchamacallit takes out Covelight. Covelight's a tough car to eliminate, but that is going to be a loss for Green Gold of a car that they could have used a bonus point from if it had survived all the matches. Whatchamacallit is in good shape. Mercedes-Benz drives right over the Mercury 8 and throws it off the track, eliminated, stuck in a tough position. Mercedes-Benz is in a good spot right there though. The Mercury lead sled comes down and bounces off of the safety rail, then gets pushed back upright again by the VW SP2. Lucky break for them. The Cocoa Puffs truck comes down and re-eliminates the lead sled. Look at the balance, though, of the Volkswagen right now. Silverado slams into place, and the VW falls right down next to the lead sled. The Cougar slams into the Silverado and turns over sideways. Not what you want to happen when you're in the Junkyard Joust. The Toyota doesn't help it. Booberry slams into position, and the Toyota looks good. Cougar is definitely out now. And there goes the Jeep Gladiator. Look at that recovery. A bounce, it looks like it's done, and then it leaps up on top of the pile of cars and makes a recover happen for the Gladiators. Plymouth GTX cannot eliminate the Toyota. It goes over on the next hit by the Le Mans, and that was the final car of the round. I don't see a single drop top alive in this round. They are almost certainly not going to be in the top 10. 9 eliminations in that round, but there is still some good good news for a couple of the teams. Sugar Crash with 4 more points. The Conquerors with 4 points, a great showing for them. And Valley of Green Gold, 3 points. Here's the bad news though, Drop Tops, 0 points. They are toast. Sugar Crash takes the lead, 11 points. Valley of Green Gold at 10. Conquerors and Drop Tops are toast. Round 4, here we go. There is a lot on the line for the top 2 teams. With 11 and 10 points, they are both gonna need some great survivals in this round and some bonus points to make it into the top 10. Right now, 15 points is the cutoff after this round. So far, a pretty good start for all 4 teams now. Silverado climbs on top of the Mercury. Count Chocula is going up. Could it go over? Cove Light tries to cause some trouble and does. The Silverado is taken out, goes over. Lucky Charm seems to be the weak link for Sugar Crash, but does manage to not take out Count Chocula even though it goes over. The Eldorado slams into the line. The Suburban balances on top of the Mercury. And then a big hit from the Mercedes-Benz. Doesn't do any damage. The Suburban escapes to the safety area. Petey is on the ground. Pretty solid hit from the Toyota 2000. Pushes the Eldorado up again, but then it comes back down. Here comes Cocoa Puffs. Knocks that 6-wheeled vehicle just about over. But then Cocoa Puffs gets taken out by the lead sled, flown from the track and tipped over. First time that thing has been eliminated, I'm pretty sure. Sugar Crash just barely missing out on a bonus point there. The Tacoma flies in and takes out its teammate, the AMG Mercedes-Benz. Stays alive for the moment by itself. But then the VWS P2 zooms into position and takes down a whole bunch of cars. 3 of them, in fact, and that's what we call a
triple takedown.
The Tacoma, the Cadillac, and its own team member, the Toyota 2000, which is beyond 45 now. Whatchamacallit slams the Volkswagen, but it manages to stay alive. Toyota flips over completely. The Mercury Cougar slams into the line and then gets destroyed by the Jeep Gladiator. Absolutely slammed into the crates. Gladiator backs away. But that does not pan out. The Gladiator is taken down by the Le Mans for Green Gold. That 73 Le Mans has not been eliminated yet for Green Gold. Booberry tries to take it down and does not manage to do it. Cookie goes flying way up in the air. 67 Plymouth GTX does not do any more damage. And now we're going to find out if those top 2 teams manage to stay in contention. We're going to take a look at the points and then the bonus points. Valley of Green Gold scored with 4 cars surviving. Drop Tops got 3, a decent round for them even though it's too late. Sugar Crash only 3, will it be enough? And the Conquerors just 1, they are flat out. Sugar Crash and Valley end with 14 points, and they are going to get some bonus points that could be incredibly important right about now. Sugar Crash gets 2, Booberry and Count Chocula never eliminated, and Valley of Green Gold gets 2 as well, the Le Mans and the Bison. That'll take them both up to 16, which is where they needed to be to have a chance of staying in this. They are just above the cutoff line. Roadstars down at 15 is right where it cuts off. Drop Top scored a very low 7, and Conquerors also bad with 10. This next round could make or break a lot of these teams. Let's take a look at who's competing. Wiener Magic. Last season they won an invitational, but then somehow failed to get out of the qualifiers. They're back to try again. We've seen the Beatles-themed Lonely Hearts Club before, but they've never had too great of luck. Diora Bora appeared in Season 6. They got 4th in their main event, mostly bolstered by the Juggernaut Custom Diora. Here's a brand new team called the Mud Bandits. A lot of off-road potential with this team. Evil Weevil is in position, brought to you by Track Buffer LLC. Track Buffer LLC been sponsoring Evil Weevil for a long time over on Patreon. Round 1, here we go. We're gonna see if these teams can make the cut. We'll be starting off with Mud Bandits. And then Lonely Hearts Club will follow up with the Yellow Submarine, which kind of tips a little bit, but then wobbles back into position. Diora 3 sends the Yellow Submarine up into the sky. It makes a very good landing. Power Sander is in danger here, standing up vertically. And the Nissan maybe just saved it. Yep, it plops down back onto the track. Look at that, the Diora 3 with a fantastic recovery. A mediocre hit from the corkscrew buggy, and then the corkscrew buggy is taken down by the Mini Cooper. Power Sander will survive. The Diora 100% with a big hit sends it flying up into the air off the back of the Mini, and it doesn't even have a chance of survival. Doesn't look like that car has a whole lot of control. Wiener Magic sends down the Chevy extended cab, and it survives, takes out the Mini, doesn't get it off the track yet, but the Razor comes down, finishes off the job, and tightens up the line. Goes curbside itself, though. 3 eliminations so far in this round. Cockney Cab takes a shot at the Razor, pushes it up on the back of the extended cab. Just kind of hangs out there. The Diora 2 100% gets 2 takedowns. Cockney Cab, I guess, was already taken down, but this pretty much finishes the job, and the Razor is taken out. Corvette comes down for Wiener Magic. The extended cab balances on its teammate, then is thrown off by a walloping hit from Motocrossed. The extended cab survives the hit. So does the Corvette. And then the Nissan's still looking good up there, so Wiener Magic is fine. Uh-oh. Cookie's done it again. One more time, Cookie, and you are not going to be allowed to go down in the cars for a while. We will have to suspend Cookie's car riding rights if she keeps getting ahead of the vehicles like that. Motocross gets taken out by Bump Around for Lonely Hearts. Then gets righted again by the tiniest of Dioras, the Diora 2 Micro. Group C Racer, not even a heavy vehicle, but that Diora is so small it is thrown up to a height of 7. Thrown way out of bounds, and we'll have to see whether it made the survive or not. It did, landing right side up beyond the fence. And will you look at this, one of the Klingons decides to take a ride on that ATV. He just couldn't resist, apparently. Group C Racer taken down by that hit. Good to see the Klingons emerging from the junkyard and having some fun. Look at this, Group C Racer may have just recovered on that huge hit from Fished and Chipped. That hit really helped out Lonely Hearts and Wiener Magic. And it didn't hurt the Mud Bandits. That John Deere ATV survived that hit. Fished and Chipped is thrown forward by the heavy Diora Custom, and it takes out the Nissan. That'll be a loss for Wiener Magic. Wiener Magic tries to get some revenge with Silver Bullet in its fancy pink form, but it does not work. That'll do it for round 1. 8 eliminations in the round. Not a bad start for all 4 of these teams. Let's see who's getting points. Diora Bora get 3. Lonely Hearts Club also get 3. And Mud Bandits also got 3. I'm sensing a theme. Every team gets 3 points across the board. 3 points is good, but if you want to get the minimum 15 points, you're going to have a couple really good rounds in there. Let's see if this could be the round for one of these teams. Diora Bora started us off. Power Sander takes a shot at that Diora. It gets snagged on the edge of the track and then flips over. That's already a loss for Diora Bora. Corvette ambles into position for Wiener Magic, and then manages to stay on the track after the hit from Yellow Submarine that bobbles it off the track. Diora 3 with a nice takedown and an escape of the track. That is offense and defense all in one. Great car for Diora. Corkscrew Buggy, careful not to eliminate its teammate Power Sander. Then the Chevy extended cab plows into it and goes over on top of Evil Weevil. I don't even know how that truck is stuck in that position, but it doesn't stay there. Cockney Cab throws it into the crates. It has a great bounce back and stays alive. Diora 200% doesn't do any damage, bounces back with Cockney Cab. And then they are both slammed into by Motocrossed, and everybody locks it up. Klingon manages to stay on board. Group C Racer tries a takedown and does get underneath, but cannot flip Motocrossed over, at least not yet. There is the Mini Cooper that finishes the job, and Group C gets thrown off the track to a survive. Good news for Wiener Magic. Not so good for Mud Bandits. The tiny Diora has taken its position and gets run over by the ATV completely. The ATV escapes, but the Diora is sideways, right behind the Mini. The Nissan 300ZX slams into position, doesn't do any damage to the Diora other than squishing it a little bit. And then finally it's thrown off the track, goes over upside down. This Micro is not doing a great job for Diora. The bumper car is thrown off the track and eliminated. The Nissan also eliminated. A big hit from the custom Diora. Manages not to take out its own teammate. The Razor comes down with Cookie on board. Cookie bounces way back down the track. The Razor escapes and survives. And then Cookie is pinballed off the back of the custom Diora, goes way over by the car show. Hanging out over by Raphael. Barb looks a little peeved, like maybe Cookie is gonna damage her car. Back on the track, this very heavy Fished and Chipped is doing damage. Takes out his own teammate, the Mini Cooper, and it also takes out the custom Diora, which I'm sure that team was hoping wouldn't get taken out. Looks like they might have another Diora that got eliminated there too. Heavy low to the ground cars are doing some damage in this match. Mud Bandits get 4 points though. They had a great round. Lonely Hearts Club with 3 more points, not too shabby. Wiener Magic also scores another 3. And here's where the big damage was. Diora only gets 1 point. The Diora 3, the only car remaining alive in the round. They will sit down at 4 points. Mud Bandits up at 7. Lonely Heart and Wiener at 6. The Dioras are going to need a couple of really good rounds if they want to have any chance to stay in this. Lonely Hearts Club starts us off in this round. They change things up a little bit and send down Fished and Chipped first. Wiener Magic sends down the Corvette. Motocross hits first for the Mud Bandits, and PD pops out and goes off the track. And then the Corvette is taken out by the custom Diora with another mega hit. Motocross also taken down. That heavy vehicle just always does the damage. The yellow submarine bounces off of it though and escapes on top of PD. Hopefully that submarine not too heavy. The Nissan 300ZX cannot do much to that heavy custom Diora. Corkscrew buggy slams into it, pushes it up on top of the custom Diora where it is poised. It does not go flying though somehow. The Diora 100% just kind of bounces off of all the cars and flips over upside down, self-eliminates. Corkscrew buggy was also taken out. And now the Nissan makes a miraculous recovery and lands over in the corner and safety. We've got 4 eliminations in the round so far. It looks like the Mud Bandits have taken the most damage so far. They need the remainder of their cars to stay alive in this match. The cab gets thrown off the track again, but recovers. That looks like that is a good vehicle for Wiener Magic. Cockney Cab goes curbside. The Mini is starting to escape. Group C Racer gets the undercut on Cockney Cab and takes it out. Throws it over sideways and finished. Also managed to take out the Mini Cooper, and now suddenly Lonely Hearts Club have been heavily damaged here. They've got 2 down. A massive thwack from the Razor, and it does not take out Group C Racer. Cookie flies all over the place. Does get off the track though, so no violation this time, even though she jumped ship a little early. The Diora Micro gets absolutely thrown around by Bump Around. It lands upright after a ton of flips. I don't even know how many flips that would have been. And then Silver Bullet punishes Bump Around, throwing it off the track. It stays sideways and is finished. ATV for Mud Bandits doesn't do any damage to Silver Bullet. Diora 3 sends Silver Bullet flying, and it makes a wonderful recovery, maintaining its so far perfect record for Wiener Magic. They're going to need those points. Diora 3 has never been eliminated either, and that is the end of round 3. 9 eliminations in that round, and a couple of teams are in trouble, but a couple did all right. Let's take a look at the points. Diora Bora did great this round. They got 4 points. Wiener Magic also scored 4. Not the best round for Lonely Hearts Club, only 2, although neither of those have been eliminated yet. And Mud Bandits got only 1. They definitely are in trouble. Wiener Magic on top at 10, Lonely Hearts, Mud Bandits, Diora all at 8. They are going to need pretty much a perfect round 4, along with some bonus points to reach 15. Wiener Magic also has to do pretty well. The extended cab pops PD out on the ground and lines up. A bruising hit from the custom Diora, but the extended cab handles it. That truck is maintaining its perfect record. Another bruising hit from Fished and Chipped for the Beatles. No damage there except maybe to the paint on the custom Diora. And look at that, the ATV uses its off-road abilities to just drive over Fished and Chipped and almost escape. The Nissan slams into position, no damage. Same for Diora 100%, although it is poised. The Diora almost works like a ramp, sending Yellow Submarine over and off the side. It is currently beyond 45 degrees. Bonus point on the line for Lonely Hearts Club. Corkscrew Buggy also kind of ramps off of the Diora and flips over upside down. Diora comes back down into position just in time to get undercut by Group C Racer. It is taken out. That will be a loss for Diora Bora. The Diora 2 100% comes in, tries to get some revenge, and does it. Group C Racer is eliminated. Wiener Magic needed that point. They will not get it. The Cockney Cab turns Diora 2 sideways, and it escapes, drives over the original Diora, and survives. Cookie finally manages to stay in a vehicle in motocross, but then gets popped out by the Corvette and hangs out on the track by the Cockney Cab. There's the tiny Diora, gets underneath the Corvette, sort of undercut it, and now the Corvette gets, ooh, wow, I thought it was gonna go down for sure. It turns over at the last second and saves a point for Wiener Magic. Bump Around has not been doing well in this match, and it continues that trend. The Razor comes down and knocks it from the track. Cockney Cab eliminated again. And there's Silver Bullet knocking the Razor around. Motocross is still upright. That tiny Diora kind of wormed its way through the cars and made us survive. Good news for Diora. The Diora 3 comes down with the Klingon, hurls the Klingon out, and doesn't really do any damage. Actually, the Razor recovered. That's great news for Mud Bandits. The Mini slams into position, doesn't do any damage. Power Sander with a pretty big hit, but somehow everybody stays around. The Mini just about topples, but manages to escape, and this is looking like a pretty good round for points. Only 5 eliminations, and that means that there's gonna be some good points for these teams just in time. Diora scores 4. Mud Bandits also with 4. Wiener Magic scores 4 as well. And Lonely Hearts Club gets 3. That means as it stands, Lonely Hearts Club is done. Diora Bora, Mud Bandits, and Wiener Magic, well, we gotta take a look at the bonus points. Wiener Magic, though, looking good. Lonely Hearts Club will get 2 bonus points. That will not be enough to take them to 15. Wiener Magic is gonna get 2 bonus points, and they will make the cut, at least for now, up to 16. Diora got 1 for the Diora 3. It will not be enough. And Power Sander gets a bonus point for the Mud Bandits. 16 and a bunch of 13s. But looking at the current standings, Wiener Magic, the only team that is currently safe. There's just 1 minor league episode remaining. That means 2 more matches, and then we find out who will be the top 10 that go into the qualifiers of Junkyard Joust. I guarantee you a lot of the other teams are watching these minor leagues with interest. They might be looking for some talent that doesn't make it into the qualifiers for their own teams. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving if you're in the US. Really glad to have you all along for this ride. Thanks for watching Junkyard Joust. I'll see you next time.